Alright, what is up, Fam Nation? I decided I wanted to rate all of the opening crawls to the Star Wars movies. I don't know why, but now seemed like a good time. I don't think any Star Wars related things are happening soon, but anyway, here we go. So, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. So this first paragraph is great, because as we know, taxation is theft. Now the second paragraph is a little confusing. I don't know about you, but blockade of deadly battleships doesn't sound like it's going to resolve the situation. And are the Trade Federation mad about being taxed, or do they want to force their competitors to be taxed? It's politics, and it's all very confusing. Anyway, the Jedi are sent to do their thing, guard peace and justice, while the Congress does its thing, endlessly debate. Also, how is the Supreme Chancellor supreme if he answers to Congress? Anyway, I give this crawl 2.5 malls out of 5. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This one has a good opening. It establishes the problem that people don't like being told to do by other people. But the Congress from the last movie has now become the Senate? It's confusing because we're literally talking about the same group of people. I understand it could be just two names for the same thing, but here in America, we clear up the difference by just having both. I like how it calls Count Dooku mysterious. Just lets me, the viewer, know what to expect and not have to actually watch the movie to develop this understanding. Also, Dooku was Qui-Gon Jinn's master, so how mysterious can he really be? Now it seems that the Jedi's goal has changed from maintaining peace and justice to just peace and order. Guess they kind of gave up on justice and hoped everyone can just get in line at this point. Anyway, Natalie Portman, Padme Amidala is a senator now and not a queen, so I guess she's like John Quincy Adams. So the Senate is thinking about making an army. An army of the Republic. And she's totally going to vote no to that. Did you watch the last film? She knows the problems with big armies. So, perfect setup to the conflict of the movie. Separatists want to separate, and the Senate wants to make an army for the Jedi. 100,000 out of 5, with 1,000,000 more on the way. Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. War! You can't complain that you don't know it was war. Actually, I think it should be in all caps, just like Army of the Republic from the last crawl. Now we learn that Count Dooku is ruthless, so I guess he isn't mysterious anymore, since we know how ruthless he is. Now if you thought this was a movie for kids, have I got a show for you. This crawl comes out swinging with heavy-hitting, current-year philosophy that says both sides have heroes and that evil is everywhere. You see, this isn't a black and white story about good versus evil and triumphing over your inner demons to reclaim what's good about yourself and redeeming the worst person in the galaxy. This is Star Wars. That means General Grievous, the fiendish droid leader, is going to be everyone's favorite character. So in the last paragraph, we find out that the Separatists have their own army. Looks like they didn't need no lousy Congress / Senate / Supreme Pepperoni Pizza to order one for them. Although I am concerned about how an army can simultaneously flee and besiege a capital's planet at the same time. Anyway, the Jedi are on their way to rescue Chancellor Pepperoni Pizza, and I give this one 4 slices of cheese. Episode 4, A New Hope. So this one starts out better than the last crawl. We learn that not only is it war, it's civil war. So we find out that the rebel spaceships got so sick and tired of their rebel pilots hiding and went and attacked the Empire on their own. In a stunning twist on not-so-current-year philosophy, we find out that the Empire is evil, so Ronald Reagan is coming to tear down some walls. We find out that some rebel spies were in these autonomous spaceships and that they managed to steal some secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon. You know, this sounds like it makes it sound like getting those plans wasn't the original mission, and they just kind of lucked into the greatest steal of all time. Anyway, the Death Star can blow up planets, and only the rebel spaceships care about stopping it. Then we learn that Princess Leia has the plans, and she's being pursued by sinister people. Again, I'm glad that the movie tells us this. It doesn't leave me to figure out that although stormtroopers wear white armor, it only hides a dark interior. Pretty soon somebody in the movie is going to be wearing black and white, tell us that he doesn't buy into all that morality and he's just out for himself, but he secretly has a heart of gold and will come back and save the hero just when he has to. Anyway, you can tell these things things have gotten worse since the last movie, because now the heroes don't care about peace, justice, or even order. They just want freedom at this point. They should have been writing declarations instead of letting their spaceships do all the work. I'll give this crawl half the rating now, and the rest when I reach Alderaan. Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. Okay, so this crawl starts off strong. It tells us that the rebels we cared about from the last movie are all on the run now. I'm glad that instead of wasting time showing the chase, the crawl just tells us about it in one sentence. Very concise. I'm sure chasing someone in space would be pretty boring anyway. Like, can you imagine an entire movie based around a single space chase? Yeah, glad they skipped that. Anyway, sounds like Luke may have led a group of the freedom fighters to a new secret base, so I assume the rest of the rebels are still out there being chased? I don't know. We learn that Darth Vader is evil and a lord, and I wonder if he has any land. He's obsessed with finding Luke. Like, what a lame motivation. Can you imagine just wanting to find one dude? Like, you are a Sith Lord with the galaxy at your fingertips, and you want this one man? He's young, too, which makes him even less interesting. It's the old guys that have all the cool stories. I hope they don't make a whole movie about just looking for Luke. Anyway, Vader has this manhunt down pat because he just sends out thousands of probes into space. He is bound to find Luke, like, super quickly, I imagine. It's not like he needs a map to find him anyway. He just Googles Earth. He just Google Earth's all space. This will probably cost like $1 billion, right? Like at least $1 million or $2 million. So maybe Vader really does have some real estate. I want to say this is the best crawl, but there is another. Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. So we find out that Luke is going home to Tatooine to get his friend who got mixed up with the space mafia. Unfortunately, Luke doesn't know that the Empire is building a second Death Star. The real question is, do the rebels know about it? Because I assume they would be on top of it, right? But maybe Luke needs to know because he's the one that destroyed the last Death Star? I don't know. More importantly, though, do the rebel spaceships know? Because it seems like they're the ones who get all the job done. It does say this second Death Star is more powerful than the first, so it probably can destroy more than a planet, right? Like, 2 planets? Maybe, like, a bigger planet? Hopefully we just see it in action destroying planets and stuff, and not just, like, shooting medium-sized ships. So the last paragraph tells us that the new ultimate weapon, the ultimate weapon, will end the rebellion once and for all. I say the Empire shouldn't even bother. My opinion, the rebels aren't doing too well since the last 2 movies. I mean, years after the Empire destroyed an entire planet, and the rebels stood up to them and blew the first Death Star up, there's still a small band of rebels? In Episode 2, we had thousands of planets breaking away from the Republic because of taxes. Don't tell me planet-destroying superweapons isn't a bigger concern. Anyway, I give this crawl many dead Bothans. Well, I hope you enjoyed my ratings of the Star Wars movie crawls. You might be asking, Bill, aren't you missing 2 of them? And you are right, clever viewer. But unfortunately, Rogue One and Solo don't have opening crawls. Anyways, take care, and may the Force be with you.